Well, none of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Children have to go back to the roots, yeah. None of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Children have to go back to the roots. I'm telling you now, the truth, the truth. Telling you, yeah, the truth, the truth. You have to go back to the roots, the roots. Go to the roots, to the roots. Yeah, man, this is Benjamin out of the Smiling Coast, West Africa, Gambia, representing for the one and only Abu, the big man you don't know, the Soninke warrior, the man that brings the truth, Soninke warrior, the sign of enlightenment, the Soninke warrior, the righteous and the true African. Abu, reveal the truth to them, no matter how them try run from it, because none of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Yes, we have to dig back the roots, yeah. Fire!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Afridamus Report. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Let me make sure you guys are hearing me because I don't see the indication. All right, now we are in business. I have fixed that. I want to welcome all of you to the Afridamus Report. I am your host, Afridamus. Welcome, Rasmois, Kwesi, and everyone else that is coming later. Even if I don't mention your name, you are welcome to the Afridamus Report. If you were here yesterday, people, you would have remembered I gave you, conversation on real American history versus quote unquote ADOS make-believe history. I want people to understand one thing. You see, in this world, we are here as human beings, you see? And I like the American system. You know why I like the American system? Because of the Constitution, the freedom of speech, freedom of expression. You can just come out and think, hey, I'm going to say whatever and no one can counter that. Look, you don't have to threaten me. I don't have to threaten you. You don't have to like what I have to say. If you don't like what I'm saying, you can just move on. You see what I'm saying? But if you look at it, you have people who believe that whatever they say, whether it's true or not, you have to go along with it, no matter what. And simply because you are black. This is their idea. And you would find this in the United States a whole lot. I have to tell you, unfortunately, a lot of black people in America, they are brainwashed. I don't know if that word is the right word, but if you're from an outside perspective, and you look at the form of thinking, the behavior, you would be like, okay, this isn't right. This is not how a society should be functioning. But now, when we speak of what is right, you see, the society where I come from, right is right, wrong is wrong. But now when you come to America society where not all, but especially for the black sector, they promote what they call the matriarchy. What do you mean? People are going to say, Afridamus, what do you mean by the matriarchy? Meaning the mothers are in charge of the household. So literally, right? You could just go and make babies. You see here 15-year-olds, they make babies, children making children themselves. So you don't expect anything good to come out of that, do you? And it's not like they're married whatsoever, because the government would step in. The democratic government would step in and give them welfare, you know, saying, oh, we're going to help you out. We're giving you housing. But a majority of these children also, they end up in what we call people, listen to this carefully, they end up in foster homes. What are foster homes? These are people that set up homes, just to make extra income, and they take these children in, as their own. So now, ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you this question. Do you expect complete strangers who have set up businesses entirely to make money, do you expect them to care about you more than the people that brought you into this world? Do you expect the teachers in the schools to care about you, even if you're a child, more than your own parents? This is not natural, but this is what is happening. So these things that I'm about to talk about here, this is from long, long lines of research, experience, because if you guys remember, I've told you, I used to be an officer. Yes, I had the badge, officer of the law, but I wasn't just any ordinary officer, people. I was an officer in the prison, the American prison system, the very system that these people claim to come out and say, you're sending the children from school to prison pipelines. Now, who is going to step up and tell you the truth? They're not going to, because victimhood is at all-time high. Victimhood is the new currency. It's the new currency. How can a group of people deliberately destroy their own children's life and not want to take responsibility for it? People, we cannot overlook that. How can you blame this on the white man when the white man is taking care of their own children? But no, you cannot talk about it, because if you do, oh, you're a self-hater. Who hurt you? No, 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 no. These are human lives. Human lives. You have to be responsible. You cannot just go out there making babies like you're a cat, like kittens, just, letting them run around. No, society has rules. Society has rules. And these rules have to be followed if we are to have a functioning society. And I've seen some from yesterday's show. I had one who was very, very upset at me. And they called me all kinds of isms that they can think of, people. All kinds of isms. They call me a xenophobe, a sexist, a misogynist, anti-Semite, homophobic. If you any of these new social justice terms, all these victim terms that you could think of, I was called all these things. But you know what? To me, that's like a cologne. It's like, it's like you sending me cologne to use it on myself. Because if you are not addressing the things that I'm saying, that tells me you know what I'm saying is the truth. Because I'm not opposed to people disagreeing with me, but I want you guys to know this. This topic that I'm about to touch here, this is from long, long lines of experience. I have had to play daddy to these children whose parents have failed them. And I'm about to tell you how I did this. Because you see, in America, especially Black America, this is a prevalent culture. Nobody is blind to what the culture is. The only culture that I'm aware of where women, they have no problem getting pregnant before getting married. They'll be like, oh no, I don't want to get married, but they're okay with somebody getting them pregnant. People, imagine that logic. Think about that for a minute. Think about that for a minute. So these same women, because they get pregnant with some guy, they probably want to trap the guy to be the father, because in America it is, you're incentivized, you can make babies, there's no repercussions for that, because the government would step in and help you out, quote unquote help you. They probably put you up in a house somewhere. Some of these people I've seen, they pay probably $8 a month, and they would still complain. They would get like food stamps in the amount of, some of them up to $1,000, and checks whatsoever. So these children are nothing but money grabbing schemes. Let's just call it what it is, people. Let's just call it what it is. So they try to trap some guy with the child, and the guy, you guys know how guys are. Most of these guys, they were raised in this system themselves, over sexualized, sexually deviant, evil reigns within them. So they have no problem just having sex with this woman and busting up in them, making the babies, and then they go the other way. The woman goes the other way. There was a time in America, this was a thing where they talk about this constantly. They say deadbeat dad, whatsoever. Come on, people, really? When you met Tyrone on the street corner, on the gas station corner, he didn't have a job. He was just a petty drug dealer. So now all of a sudden, you expect that, oh, Tyrone, I'm gonna give him some sex and trap him. Now all of a sudden Tyrone is gonna be a better human being. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. But now that's what happens. And then you see a lot of these women, anywhere from 15, some of them up to 40, believe this or not. They bring these babies into the world. They hate the baby's father. So these children reminds them of those kids' father. They abuse these children. They call them ugly, fat, black, all kinds of names. Now you guys understand why most black people, especially in America, why they see blackness as a handicap, because their single mama was the one that made it that way. No love at all. So some of these kids, if they are unfortunate, right, they find themselves early on in the foster care system. Anywhere you look in America, people, in every major American city, even where there is way less black people, go to the social welfare offices, parole, and see who the employees are. Don't take my word for it. Just go see for yourself. The same people that destroy these children's lives are the ones working in these offices. A group of people who do not have any regard for the future of their own kids. No protection. They don't care. As long as they make money off of them, they are good. But now, that brings us to the, excuse me, people, that brings us to the school to prison pipeline. Because they say the white man locking up our children, blah, blah, blah. But mind you, most black people, they really don't even have that much interaction with white people. You guys do realize that, right? They really don't. Their own mamas or grandmamas already messed them up before they even send them to those schools. But schools have rules. Even where I come from, the schools there, the rules were strict. I knew not to act a fool when I go there. I'm able to talk about this because myself, I've been telling you guys, I have my own son that goes to American schools. He's black. He's mixed, but whatever. In America, even if you're mixed, you're called black. You see? But they would say, oh, they're targeting the black kids. They are doing this because of their behavior. But now, who is coming to remove these children from those homes. This is where the office comes into play. There's some lady in the office named Shinequa. Because majority of the people that work in these social welfare offices are black themselves. In the parole office, black. And when I say black, not just any black females. Don't you think if anybody should know the suffering and the plight of these single mothers, it would be them? Because generally they themselves are already single mothers. So, it's one of those affirmative action degrees. Remember the degrees that I was talking about here earlier yesterday? Yeah, one of those degrees, the affirmative action degrees. So they have those degrees, they start working in the office, and then they're like, oh, now I got me a good job. I got me some Brazilian hair, and I got me some claws on my hands that I call fingernails. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to play high and mighty. You see? So they call, oh, Latrice over here. Oh, Latrice is abusing her kids. What did she do? Oh, Latrice is over here yelling at her kid. They're like, we will be there. Then she shows up with a cop. They're like, oh, you know what, Latrice? We would have to remove little Diamante out of your care, and we're going to put him in a foster home. People, think about how that is. That alone, how traumatizing that is for a child. But prior to all that, it's not like the kid didn't face any abuse. I've seen this with my own two eyes, people. I'm not just here making up make-believe stories. So this is why you see those people that come in my chat area. All they can do is, try to call me names, insult me, whatsoever. That's what they do. You see? But now, what do they do, people? They remove these kids. So they put them in the foster care system. So you would see maybe one foster care parent have, several kids, some of them up to 10, 15, whatsoever. None of these kids are related to one another whatsoever. People, put yourself in this kid's shoes. Because me personally, I cannot imagine when I was a kid to be removed from the people that I'm related to and be put with complete strangers, and they're like, now this is your new family. I would have been very, very traumatized. Very traumatized. So these kids, their trouble, this is where it begins. Right then and there. Some of them are very young, and some are with a little bit older kids. They face all kinds of things there. Sexual abuse, criminality, you name it. This is why you see so much criminality out in America, people. It is very sad. So I'm not here to beat down on people. I want people to wake up. Because like I said, a lot of these kids, they end up in prison. You know why? Because they've been traumatized from the time they were children. But you won't know that, because guess what? When you check on the internet, especially, you look around in real life, the people that traumatize these children, those are the people themselves crying about trauma, talking about white supremacy. These people they are worse than the KKK, because at least the KKK were killing people physically, some of the people they've killed. But when you kill the soul of a child, there's no recovery to that. There's no recovery to that. These kids learn awful things. So you send these children to school, and they're in the school there. By the time they get there, they've already developed terrible, terrible habits. They've developed terrible behaviors. People send their children to school to learn, people, to learn. So you cannot expect me raising my kid to be a law-abiding citizen, to follow the law, to go to school and learn. Now you've sent this damaged kid to this school and they misbehave. They cannot just keep them in the classroom. They can't keep them there for them to continue to interrupt the other children. So this is why I keep telling people, do not continue identifying yourself to say, oh, we all the same whatsoever. But when we talk about what is right, how come the people that got it right, their voices have to be stifled? Oh, people, actually, earlier I forgot to tell, this program here is sponsored by the Belgian waffles. I just had some waffle and chicken. By the way, these waffles were, like I said, Belgian waffle. The waffle, it was so good. It was made by white people. The butter I used was made by white people. The syrup, the chicken was raised by white people. In fact, the person that fried it is Ethiopian. The fork and knives were made by white people. I just figured, I wanted to let you guys know about that, just in case people that like to say, oh, white people are doing terrible things whatsoever. No, I just ate some really good food. All, you know, it was grown by white people, cooked by white people, served to me by white people. Just want to let you guys know. But I'm gonna get on track here. So now, right? Think about this, people. Think about this for a minute. The American prison system is no joke. Did you guys know kids get sent to juvenile as young as 5 years old? I know this because when I worked in the criminal justice system, I was privy to a lot of these people, their history. Because I want to know, where did this all begin? Where did this all begin? I want to know the genesis. Because you see, you cannot know a problem. You can't solve a problem if you don't know where this all began. And I would read and it will traumatize me. Yes, I know you guys didn't expect me to use that word, but I see it. For you people who are not in America, for instance, in Africa, wherever, if you grew up watching The Cosby Show or The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, when you get here, you'll be very disappointed. That's not how the blacks are. That's just TV. It's a minute part of the population that is that way. Majority of these people, because when you make it to the prison, you have to be 18 years and over to be there. Some of these people, by the time they are 18, they've already killed two or three people, committed murder, several murders. So when I hear some of these people sitting here talking about, most of the blacks in there, they didn't commit violent crimes. People, do you want to tell me that murdering another human is not a violent crime? That is a very violent crime. But you see the differences in society. How can people coexist if you cannot correct the behavior of others? Like they like to say, oh, it takes a village to raise a child, but you cannot say anything to these single mothers, their children. They bring these children into the world. They make babies with one guy, and then they want to go look for a father for the child. Children want their own real fathers. You cannot just out of the blue create a new father for the child. Oh, they say, and even the white liberals, especially, they promote this idea. I remember one time, because they do this, right? I got this phone call from the school. It's like, "Trrrt," and I pick up, I say, hello. They were like, some guy, he was, they call it the Big Brother program, whatsoever. So this guy is supposedly a big brother. I guess they assign him, to be a mentor to several kids. And my kid was one of them. So they have to call me. And I asked him, I said, why would my kid? I said, listen to me, sir. Why does he need you to be his mentor when I'm his father? And I asked him straight. I said, do you like touching kids? He said, oh, no, 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 sir. I said, my mind is just kind of blown. I said, because I'm not going to volunteer to go play daddy to some strange children. Like, why are you doing this? You see, but this is what is promoted. This is what is promoted. And I made sure I went to the school and let the principal know. I said, look here, I know you guys want to promote all this kind of degenerate behaviors. Never ever sign my kid up for your dumb Big Brother programs or one of your these black programs. Okay? Just teach him math, English, and science. If you cannot do that, you let me know. Another time they want him to play Martin Luther King because he's one of the black kids there. I said, why does he need to do that? I said, that's not our history. I said, my history, we never went, with signs marching, asking people for our freedom. I said, we are free. We are born free. We don't ask other people for that. I said, please do not try to put this in my kids. And they're like, oh, well, but don't you guys identify as black? I asked the principal, I said, what is your background? She said, I'm German and Irish. I said, so are you related to every German and Irish person? Or are you related to the French? She said, oh, no, no, no. I said, but you're all white. I said, please, ma'am. I said, look, you guys need to stop imposing your ideas of what black person is supposed to be. So imagine a child who doesn't have a father, people. Who doesn't have a father? Or they're from a foster home. Who is going to be there to speak for them? Who? Who's going to be there to speak for them? I mean, their single mama is busy receiving government aid. She got 5 children. They all have different fathers. You got 5 kids, 7 different baby daddies. She doesn't have time. She doesn't have time for this. Not only did she put herself in a bind, she set this child up for prison because that child is going to misbehave. And when you misbehave, what they're going to do? They're going to kick that child out of school. They kick the child out of school. Next thing you know, what's going to happen? Now the street got them. They commit crime, or they start out going to juvie. This is where they send the children to the juvie prison. They start becoming more and more comfortable there. So now they're no longer scared of committing crimes. In fact, they are more comfortable in that environment than being outside, because their entire life, the mammy that even gave birth to them didn't love them. Their mother hates the father that procreated with her. She takes that out on that child. So how is this white supremacist problem? This child's first experience with white supremacy is that mother that destroyed their life. And then you hear all these black people talking about, oh, we love each other. If this is true, let's say this is true, right? How are these children being separated from their parents? How is that possible? If the people in the office, majority that are running the show are black women. I don't know if you guys hearing me. Black women. Not black men, black women. Because the black men, they are completely done. Literally. Like, look, my mind was always blown by the type of disrespect that I see black men receive from the black women. They talk about them like dogs. This is why one time they invited me to a meeting. This meeting was headed by some black lesbians. And I can tell these people are not used to hearing a man speak the truth, especially a black man. I thought I was there to speak the truth because they want to hear a law enforcement perspective. So for those of you who did not receive a good upbringing and you think your problem have been white people whatsoever, I want you to listen carefully to this part because I'm not going to mislead you. I am giving you the inside scoop. Inside scoop. It's not somebody telling me this. I was on both sides. I was once an officer, and I'll tell you what the training is. When officers come to you, they pull you over. Be respectful. Keep your hands on the wheels and just smile and say, hello, sir. Why did you pull me over? Don't start getting all animated. Don't start driving around smoking marijuana, or having illegal guns or trying to run away. Because if the police have to come get you, you expect to be beat up, no doubt. And if the police decide to arrest you, don't waste your time resisting because that arrest is going to take place. But now, for instance, a simple traffic infraction, it would have been a simple violation whatsoever, or like a misdemeanor charge whatsoever. Now you escalate, you by yourself, escalate this to a felony because you don't realize that when that police want to arrest you, which if police decide to arrest you, come hell or high water, those cops are going to achieve that arrest. I'm just letting you know. That's how cops are trained. I know this because I did the training myself. I know exactly what the training says. Even if they have to call for backup, that's what's going to happen. But now, you want to resist this police arresting you, right then and there, you just got you a new charge, resisting arrest. And while trying to fight the police, let's say even you're flaring your hand or your feet, and that kicks the police, touches the police, now you got yourself an assault charge. All written down. So it's best for you to just comply and have your day in court. And if that cop is wrong, you can make that cop look stupid. Plain and simple. But nobody's telling these people this. Nobody's telling them. They don't know any better. Because I know this to be 100% when I worked in law enforcement. When we show up at your door, this is your favorite YouTuber, Afridamus. I show up at your door And I say, turn around and cough up. Whether you like it or not, we can do it the easy way or the hard way. But that coughing up is going to be achieved. That's just what it is. Call it what you like, but that's going to happen. So when people come out crying, oh, blah, 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 they invited me to this black talk, about police brutality. So I was invited to come there and give them the inside scoop. The inside scoop, people. So, I mean, like, I thought, like, hey, I'm here to tell these people how it is, like, because I'm trying to help. But little did I know, telling the truth is a crime for these people. So I showed up and I told them, I said, look, because everything they were saying is just stoking the fire. Because you see, when you teach your children not to respect, first of all, their own father, you talk bad about their own father, right then and there, they would never ever respect any male figure, much more an authority. Much more an authority. They would never respect that. So I told them, I said, look, I said, the problem here is, I said, you guys are sending the wrong message. I said, you need to raise your kids better, properly, with respect. I said, because you see, respect is a two-way street. It's not about white, black, blue, or green. No, that's not what it is. It's about respect. Because how do you expect to disrespect me? Look, I'm telling you right now, a lot of the guys that I worked with, they are not little guys. They are big just like me. So you're over here, you want to run your mouth. You want to run your mouth at me, and I'm trained to take people down. What do you think is going to happen? Seriously. It's just common sense. If I'm not in the uniform, you will not behave that way towards me. Now, why would you behave that way towards me when I'm in the uniform? Because you think that's how you're supposed to be, looking for a lawsuit. I said, when you teach your kids this, you're setting them off to be paranoid, to think the police are their enemies. Oh, when I said this, all hell break loose. One of the ladies, I don't know if she's a lesbian whatsoever, but she looks like a man. She got up and started, raising her voice, trying to challenge me. I was like, excuse me, ma'am, I'm not done talking. I'm not done talking. Please take a seat. And she sat down and listened to what I had to say. And then later, the older black men that were there, they came later. They were like, wow. They're like, man, we wish we could talk like this. I said, what's preventing you? I said, these women, you guys have given them so much free range. They are destroying your kids' life. Now they want, because they were there talking about schools to prison pipeline. The white men set them up. They talk about the 13th Amendment. But you're setting up your own kids. Everybody, your job, especially if you got children, your job is to protect your kids. But look at even this ADOS FBA people online here. Pay attention to the things they talk about. They're not talking about anything that is pertaining to the future of their own children that are coming later. They are only focused on, oh, what can we get from the white man? Okay, fine. Let's say the white man writes them a check whatsoever. You guys don't think the next generation after them are going to be saying the same thing for reparation? They're not saying anything that shows they care about the future of their children. They could care less. I've seen this. I've talked to many of them on the blocks, on the prison blocks. I've read their history, their background. Most of them can barely read. Look, when I first walked into that, stepped my foot into that prison, I thought I was in Africa because of the amount of black people they had in there. There were so many of them, uncountable numbers. How many of them do you think their issues that brought them there has anything to do with white people? I mean, other than the judges or maybe the police that arrested them. But I'm talking about the genesis of their problem. From the time they were in school, who messed them up? And on top of that, their own mammies, they don't come and visit them. Once in a blue moon. It's just some white woman. You see, once again, it's always the white woman who comes back and have to play daddy to this man, or mama to this man. Their black mommy is nowhere to be found. Nowhere. It is a white woman that comes there. So I don't want to hear anybody coming in my comment section trying to tell me, oh, you hate black people. Oh, this is why you say this. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. Unless if you're one of the people that have destroyed your own children's life. And now you want to feel good coming out talking about, the school to prison pipeline. It starts in the home. From the home, these women, they destroy this kid's life. They don't only stop there. The welfare offices, the people that work there, black women. Okay? The social welfare system. A lot of the parole officers, black women. Man, I used to ask this question. I said, where do they find these black women at? I live in a majority white city. Where do they go import these people from the South? Somehow they find them to employ them. It's like they literally do it on purpose. On purpose. It seems like these women lack the natural instinct of protecting their own children. The natural instinct that God gave to every human being. It's like they lack it. So the dynamics that we are seeing, even online, I mean, look at even, in rap songs, for instance, a lot of the hatred that you hear. Where do you think these kids learn it from? See, these black women, they are the only group of people that I know in the world. Like if you raise the child, right? And the child's behavior, the way they only take credit for when the child turned out to be good. But when the child, turns out to be a pookie or rere, which is most of the time, become drug dealers, kill people. Oh, the daddy was in there. But how many have we seen? How many of these, for example, like entertainers, basketball players, who actually make it out? I don't want people to think it's every single parent. No, some of them do step up to the plate, and take care of their children. But you see, that's in the minority. If we want to talk about the ones that did it right, then we wouldn't have a show because those people are in the minority. But we all hear them. They thank their mothers, and the mothers take credit. But now, if it goes the other way around, you got to take credit for that too, because you raised this child. You made this happen. So, from everything you've heard, in fact, I'm going to open up the line. This is school to prison pipeline. You can't blame this on anyone but yourselves. The parent is responsible for this. I'm speaking from experience, from someone who had to even play daddy to these kids in prison. From experience, at least I had the heart and the caring to talk sense into most of these people. I know some of you are going to be upset, but I have saved many, many lives by giving them the real talk, changing their mindset, showing them how to take advantage of the education system while in prison to learn skills that they could use when they get out. And many have thanked me for that. Something as simple as that. It seems like the people that even brought them in the world are too arrogant and egotistical to see that. You cannot just destroy kids' life, people. You cannot. So all this talk, the people that go around talking about, oh, it is the immigrant that is our problem. No, 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 no. You are your own worst enemy. Because if they like to say, oh, the immigrants, they come here, they don't want to help us. I have done my part. Came all the way from Africa and saving life upon life. Having to play daddy to your grown men. I had to play daddy to some who are even, 50, 60 years old. Believe this or not. Believe this or not. They said to me, man, I've never met anyone that talks like this. I said, this is not just any talk. This is to wake you up to reality. You live in the land of abundance. Can you imagine having eyes with no sight? That's what most black people suffer from in America. They have eyes, but they are blind. They can't see. This is why they talk about, oh, cut the check. We want the check. Okay, fine. If the white man gives you the check, you go and buy you your Cadillac truck, your bling bling, whatsoever you're into. And then what about your future? What about the future? What about the children? See, they don't care. This is why when you listen to a rap song, especially today, most of these rap songs, by the time the song could be maybe 3 minutes max, by the time it reaches that 3 minutes, they would have already bust a cap up, several N-words head. They kill up several people in that one rap music. Bringing death and destruction. If these people are coming from those single parent homes, those foster homes, those prisons, who are the overseers of those institutions? This is what you should be asking. Is it the white supremacists or their mammies? So I'm going to open up the lines. Take the time, call in, explain. Let's talk about what you've heard so far. If you think I'm wrong, by all means, articulate that. But I don't want you to bring hate over here at the Afridamus report, because we are not about hate. It's all about love over here. But I'm going to drop the line here. I want you to hit the link. And also because I want Africans and other people to learn and understand. Because, see, I had to go deep down in the lion's den to learn about this. So some of these people that say, read more. Oh, you want to recommend reading to me when you can't even read. So if I talk about things that is real experience, they're gonna say, "Oh, you don't know about black people." But you guys see, I just gave you not only researched facts, I also am giving you anecdotal facts. People, you don't understand the type of hate that hate produces. It is toxic. It is poisonous. It kills. So this death and destruction that you see on the streets of America, in the inner cities, where do you think it comes from? Exactly. You answered it. So the only way this would turn around is for people to speak on it, point it out. Because right now, as we speak, there's a genocide taking place in places like Chicago, Baltimore, in these inner cities, pretty much. And another thing they like to talk about is, gentrification. Have you noticed? Like, I remember, like, there's this one neighborhood, used to be a black neighborhood. So when they say gentrification, you're thinking, oh, the white people just came and moved people out. No. The place that was all mostly black, they sold the homes to other people, different people. Now the place is much nicer. They have Starbucks, they have nice restaurants and all that. So nobody is stopping anyone from doing good for self. So this matriarchal hierarchy, thinking that the black woman is God, this is what is messing up the dynamics in the black culture. So this is, you look at it. I'm just telling you, when you guys run around and saying, the black queen, everybody's queen. I mean, people laugh at this. Seriously, they do. Because if everybody is kings and queens, who are going to be the subjects? It's like being the, you know, the best athlete in the Special Olympics. Nobody wants that trophy. Imagine, you're talking about regular Olympics, and a guy from the Special Olympics comes and say, "Oh, you know what? I'm the MVP." People are gonna be like, "Oh, all right, all right." So this is how people have been treating, black people. One time I've had this one black lady. She had nice weave, by the way. She's like, "Hello, King." I said, "Oh, I ain't no king." She's like, "Oh no, we all kings and queens." I said, "Ma'am, I am not a king." I told her my name. Because see, that's what people need to do. That self-deluding ideas, is a problem. So when these people are sitting here complaining about white people, immigrants, you know, people from space, but every time you turn around, you see You see, their hands is what is destroying these children. Nobody else. When you snatch the souls of kids, they can never recover from that. Look, you can recover. You can recover from physical pain, but you cannot recover from your soul being snatched, from your soul being tampered with. And that is what is happening. You look at it, the KKK. The KKK couldn't destroy black people. They put fear in few, but the KKK themselves got destroyed. But if you look at what Black Lives Matter is doing, they are worse than the Nazis. They are destroying the souls of children. This is the final nail in the coffin, where victimhood is what is elevated. So all these lives that are destroyed, people, I'm just telling you, if you've never stepped foot in prison, I know I don't wish it upon you, but if you go see for yourself, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. This is no joke. For anyone that loves their own children, they would never set them up to go that route in life. I'm not saying, because human beings are going to be humans, right? But to purposely, do things that's going to put your children on that path, that is sad. And then come back and cry and say, oh, the schools to prison pipeline. Do you think if your kid was just, if you notice, you're not hearing about the kids that are having A's and doing good, getting sent to prison? You don't see that. How come? There's always some type of misbehavior attached to it. See, when you outsource the love you're supposed to give to your kids, when you outsource the protection you're supposed to give to your kids to complete strangers, which is the government, what do you expect? You cannot expect anything good to come out of that. You can't expect things of people that you yourself are not willing to give to yourself. You're welcome. I know nobody will tell you this, but I will. I'm going to drop the line in, and I want you guys to call in, and I want to hear from you what your experience has been. Have you been sent to the American criminal justice system? Did you shake hand with Satan? Is Satan your daddy? Call in. Oh, if you have solutions for the black mamas of single black mamas of America, not all, but most of the ones that are destroying their kids' lives, let me know. But we have Sean here, but before we get into that, let's play the Pan-Africanist anthem. All right. So we have our first caller here. Sean, welcome to the show.
Hey, how's it going, Afrodamus? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. Sean, and you're calling from Baltimore, right?
Oh no. Actually, I live around the DMV area.
Oh, okay. So you're not from Baltimore.
Well, I always say I'm originally from Florida, and I say that and for this one very reason, because in my experiences when I first moved up here to Maryland or the DMV area, is that like it's so vastly different from where I'm from in Florida. Because
What part of Florida are you from?
Tampa,
Tampa. Okay, okay.
yeah, like
Beautiful.
what I've experienced like here is just like the people that I've talked to, like at work and just like on day-to-day conversations, like exactly what you said is that they always try to justify criminal behavior, bad behavior, and like when every time I even say like a word like such as hoodlum or even like just like ghetto, like people always get offended. Hey, don't say that, man. Like, and I'm like, what else can I say? I mean, it kind of is just what it is. Like,
Right, right. Because Sean, I don't know if you've been listening to, everything I've been saying about the prison, the school to prison pipeline, where, because some of these things that you're saying, where they try to control speech, control what you can or cannot say, where, a group of people just decides what is offensive and what isn't. Don't you think that is helping and contributing more to black children being sent into this machine called prison?
yeah, I mean, you're exactly right. And I don't know like exactly how different the schools are in different counties or different states. I'm sure they probably teach different things. I mean, because when I moved up here, my dad told me that the schools here in PG County are terrible.
Mm-hmm.
And like where I'm from in Florida, like I can say like the high school I went to was pretty much like they were pretty much like fair, I'll say. I mean, it wasn't the best school I'll say, but also wasn't the worst because I mean I got a pretty good experience there, and they taught me pretty much good. I mean it was a pretty diverse school at that best too.
Well, you sound like you got good head on your shoulder.
Well, yeah. I mean I actually grew up in a military family, so I
Oh,
mean yeah.
nice.
So what I experienced on the military base, like what you said before, I know you mentioned this earlier. I just want to say, like on the military base, like crime, like you do not get any excuses. Like
Right,
there is nothing that you can do or say. No one will make an excuse for you. Like I actually know a guy I grew up with on the base, and he did one thing and he got his whole family kicked off the base. Like
right.
they do not play there.
Zero
Like
tolerance.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so you see, there's accountability, but wherever there's no accountability, there's bound to be destruction. Sean, thank you. I'm gonna bring on Dr. R real quick. I'll put you in the background, okay?
All right.
Dr. R, welcome to the show. Where you calling from?
Greetings, Afrodamus. I'm calling from the UK.
Oh yeah. Oh, Dr. R, I remember you now.
Yes, yes. How are you?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm good, very good, and I enjoyed listening to your experience, and I like to put my thoughts into it.
Go for it.
In the UK, we've got a similar problem. Like a lot of young black men are in the prison systems who grew up in these council estates or the projects we call it in the UK. You've got these single mothers who have bastard kids or kick the man out of the house and receive benefits or welfare from the government.
Wow. So you
And
guys have the same thing over there too?
yes, we've got the same problem, and I feel like it's going to get worse and worse so, because the damage has been done because of the brainwashing, the
Mm-hmm.
60 years of brainwashing of feminism, MTV, all these soap operas we grew up with. And funny enough, you said about Fresh Prince of Bel Air. I
Yeah.
used to watch Fresh Prince of Bel Air in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Right.
And and you talked about Fresh Prince of Bel Air representing the Black American family. I wish that was true.
And the
If Fresh Prince
Cosby
of Bel
Show.
Air, the Cosby Show as well. If it was the case for UK,
Oh, sorry.
you would say the same in the UK. If Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was from UK, you'd think to yourself, is that really people in UK? No, it's not just for Black and African people. It's for all ethnicities, white,
Right.
mixed race, because welfare is nothing but a business.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you look at it, the West has given women so much power, and the Jezebel spirit
Well, the welfare, not only the
is alive
welfare
and well.
system, even the prison. The prison is a big business. The prison industrial complex, um, the court system, because they need future criminals. And who's raising these future criminals? You see, the future carjackers, murderers, drug dealers. So they need to promote this single motherhood because they know they are the ones raising this mess for society. So this is why they are promoting it. So the government itself is not innocent. But us as individuals, what is our roles? What is your role? What is your responsibility to your own child? Like that's what people should be held accountable for that. If there's any time ever in life for people to ever hold themselves accountable, it has to be for that.
But Afri Damas, that's very interesting. You said about accountability. I feel like women that were born in the early 90s, early 2000s, they do not like or want accountability. People, modern day single mothers or divorcees, they just do not want accountability anymore. It's like nobody wants accountability,
right,
or responsibility, because I've seen it firsthand.
It's definitely sad.
And all I'm going to say to you is I've seen single mothers with kids, and I can see the children's eyes that they're crying for a father.
Right. They
I've
always
seen it.
do. They always do. Yeah, the kids always do.
Because in the United Kingdom, you've got Black and white and ethnic children, ethnic minority children, who are being groomed into gangs, who are being sent out to the countryside, the counties, to deal in drugs.
Oh, wow.
And if you look at these children, the majority of them come from the projects or council estates where you said something about an older, someone in the community, a criminal would say to him, listen, your mother cannot get you the latest Adidas trainers from Nike.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Because she's on welfare.
Right.
Here's $100 or £100. Go buy yourself some brand new crepes or sneakers or trainers. And here's $10 or £10. Go to the local chicken shop. Then he's going to think, wow, I've never seen this much money. Then this older member or groomer, gang member, he's going to ask him things in return. Can you sell drugs? Can you do this? He's going to comply and say yes, because he has no father figure. The young girl, she's going to go for the bad boy.
That's right.
The wrong type of men. He's going to say, okay, same thing. I will buy you clothing. I'll give you this and all of that. But she doesn't know that he wants something in return, because he can target that girl because she comes from a fatherless household.
That's what her mama went for. So unfortunately, it's sad, but that's what happens. Hopefully.
And the funny thing is, I wanted to mention, I remember years ago I was talking to a woman from Grenada. She was a probation officer. And she told me a story of this man from her community, the Caribbean community, who was a Christian man, who went for this mother, who I'm assuming was a single mother. She thought this man was a good man of character because of the church they went to. Mm-hmm. But this man was a predator. And he knew he could get access to this woman because there was no father in the picture. Everyone thought he was a man of God. But
That's
he
how
ended
it
up
always
abusing.
goes.
He abused the young girl, and I wouldn't be surprised if she knew about it, what he was doing.
Well, here
Because single mothers cannot protect their children.
you would even see some of these teenage girls, who their mothers would bring in, quote unquote, some guy who's their boyfriend whatsoever. The mother herself would see this teenager as the competition, and sometimes they would, like, some of these guys would even sexually abuse these teenagers. The mom would, sweep it under the rug. Oh, even if the child says, hey, this guy made advances on me, she would say, why are you lying on my man? That's very common. You hear stories like this all the time. It's sick, but it's real. All right, Mr. R, I'll put you in the background here and bring in SA Red Pill. SA Red Pill, welcome to the show. Where are you calling from?
South Africa.
Oh, South Africa. I remember
Oh,
you
you
now.
forgot me.
No. I remember you now. I remember you. You haven't been around in a while.
Maybe I should change SA to South African,
So,
instead of just SA.
well, now I remember from now on. So,
Oh, you
everything
said you
you've
wanted
heard.
a plan for what kind of idea would I have if I
Well,
had to give in for African Americans.
if what do you think about what you've heard so far, and if you think there's other ways that can make it better, you can also speak on that.
I mean, a lot of the things you're saying were kind of a lot of the things you were saying even right now were kind of really sad. The whole daughters will be competing with their moms, and man, that is hell. I don't know. I think that's a US thing, like, because I don't know, how can you be like on your 40s and want to be clubbing and stuff? I
Well,
don't know, I'm just saying it's rare in this side though, as regardless of all the problems we have, man.
do
But the
you not
solution I
see
would have.
do you not see all this, like, you go online, Instagram, everywhere, in life you've seen, people who are supposed to be grandmas, 50 something black women talking about, oh, I need a man. Oh, I'm looking for a man. These women should be the ones being the teachers for their daughters or young females, but instead
I
they're
mean,
competing with them, talking about, oh, I'm trying to find me a man. It's evil.
and it's, and I kind of feel sad for them because we see it from, like, Kevin Samuels, but like we see it on live, like, oh, so this is why you end up when you don't have a husband and you are like, it's sad, right? Like, it's actually sad, dog. It's sad. But you were talking about solutions.
Right.
One of the solutions. So there's a link I posted on the back. I don't know if you see it. You can
Yeah.
open it. Inside. Yeah. So what South Africa does, like, it does have its problem, obviously. But one of the good things that South Africa does, is that it does a national top achiever, matric achiever thing, right? So, like, when you're in grade 12, they make like all the kids all over the country compete and get like high distinction. So getting distinction is like a big thing. Getting, especially on relevant subjects like the physical science, mathematics, and stuff. So they kind of really push that on us, right? So, and I guess that's why it's more, a lot of South Africans, regardless. I mean, we do have an unemployment thing, but you would also see that we do have a high level of graduates in South
Oh no,
Africa.
they have that. They must definitely have that here in America. Um,
No, I mean,
like,
I'm saying,
it's not that the system isn't even. It's not like it's not available. It is available. It's about taking advantage of it. Like I said, most of these children, are born to these single mothers who, they are giving birth. Like, think about it. Almost 80% of children been born out of wedlock. No father to be found anywhere close. You see?
I don't think it's just that. I would think that maybe it's also what can I say? I would think because also look, South Africa has a 60% out of wedlock thing, but the thing is, we are kind of like a patriotic, what's this, man,
Patriarchal.
patriarchal
So
system. Yeah, so yeah, you do notice that even though maybe you won't have a father, like the community can kind of like stir you a little bit. Like we're not as emotional as that side. You know what I mean? Where yeah, you're run by a iconocracy and stuff. So I don't know. I guess that's one of the advantages we do have in South Africa. But yeah, my idea was maybe have a national thing where they kind of push African Americans all together to compete to be top achievers. That's
oh
because
no, they already, like all that is here in America, um, is not a lack of. It's not a lack of. So
right now I'm in Pretoria, but I'm from Limpopo. I'm answering RJ Bakome.
oh, I don't know. I don't know where that is.
No. I'm answering the chat. That there's a guy who's asking where I'm.
Okay. South African person,
Yeah.
Limpopo.
I mean, Limpopo is another province, like a state in the US. So it's another place. But right now, because of work, I'm in Gauteng, Pretoria. Oh yeah,
Huh.
but yeah.
So in South Africa, do you guys have a single mother problem there too?
Um,
Because I
it's a
see that,
problem. What do you mean by problem, though? Because it's not.
because
I don't think that.
wherever there's tons of single mothers, they raise, future carjackers, future murderers, future, killers.
The words you use, but you sure people would bet you will close your channel.
Huh?
Can you call them future killers, future murderers? But
Not all
nah,
of
man.
them, not all, but most.
Okay, yeah. I mean, yeah. Look, I do have some friends of mine who are raised as single mothers, and some of their stories, it's very different. Like it's to be honest, this whole single mother thing and it being like a cause for why people do bad decisions. I only started maybe hearing it online, but
Yeah,
maybe I'm being biased on my side because maybe I've never really analyzed the effects
yeah.
of single motherhood.
No,
Plus
because see,
myself,
I'm coming
where
from.
I come from. Okay, so where I come from, right, is a
Mhm.
province where majority of the people I lived around were married. When I came to this province where I am, the city where I am, right,
Mhm.
was like it's the capital. Where I'm actually at the capital of South Africa. There is a high level of kids raised by single mothers. So
But
I guess I
is
wouldn't.
wait, is there a lot of crimes there?
Well, in Johan, no, not as much this, but yeah, in Gauteng, there's a lot of more crimes compared to where I
I
come from.
rest my
Yes, yes.
case. I knew it because
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
is there a lot of carjacking and gang members and
First
drug
time I got
dealers?
robbed was when I'm this side. You're right. Yeah, first time I got
I'm
robbed
t-
was when
uh,
I'm in.
I
Yeah,
rest my case. The people that rob you, I bet you they're from a single mother. I
yeah,
don't know
yeah.
them, but I know for a fact because you see, there is this type of, you know, um, discipline that a father instills in young
Yeah,
boys.
I've noticed that. Like, children raised by single fathers, which we rarely hear of, are actually more disciplined than those. Even women raised by single fathers. There's a lot of let me respect that man compared to those that are raised by moms, because it's almost like a sister relationship, right? There's
Right,
even stuff
right.
like that.
Because like I said, like when I worked, in the criminal justice system, you know, enforcing the law, majority are from single moms. The majority, both black, white, blue, and green, all of them. So,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like that's one thing they have in common. So,
You
so,
know,
so,
the topic you're
so.
having here, I had a similar topic on. I was on Clubhouse, this room called African Journal, right? And I
Oh,
kind of
Clubhouse.
triggered.
I actually started a new club there called the African House. You guys should go join.
I'll search for it. Or maybe I'll post the link there, probably on your chat there. if you have access. Try
Okay.
sending it to a chat, to your email, and then repost it here if you can.
Yeah, I'll work on that.
But what I was saying is that I was on Clubhouse, and I guess I don't know if I said anything that was triggering, because they were asking about why do Africans go to America, and I was gonna be blatant with them because America is the only. Okay, I said America is an IQ based system, right?
Mhm.
And by that I didn't mean like you have to be like a mathematician or whatever, but it does take a certain level of smartness for you to not do. I genuinely believe this. Logic and sense, a lot of people like to see it as a standard, but it is a level of intelligence. A lot of people are not sensible because they're not
Oh,
intelligent,
oh yeah,
right?
this is why they try to argue against that, because you see, logic, being logical. Most people are not logical. This is why they will tell you, "Oh, I read a book. Oh, book of philosophy." So you want to tell me about some person's book that you read, who wrote their thought process, and you want to break that down. Like, what is your own logic? How do you think? You see?
So
So
that's not even
so
the climax of it. Oh, you didn't even hear the good part. So I'm saying this, right? This Nigerian guy comes in, right? He's not saying anything, but when this other ADOS check woman comes in, she comes to, I'm tired of you Africans always opening these topics, and I'm not even bashing anybody. I was just taking on my side. I never said, because I think in her mind she thought I was saying African Americans are not intelligent. That's why they're not achieving top
well,
wealth,
you
and I
but you
was making
see,
an
you know
example
why?
of.
You know why? That's because she's not intelligent. So therefore, she wants to shame you guys about bringing intelligent conversation. You see, what the internet have done, it has been a blessing and a curse for some. A lot of things that was hidden is coming out to light. See, you cannot just put yourselves in this little bubble thinking you're protecting yourself. If you want to join the rest of the world, especially now with the internet, you have American TV presenting American, especially blacks, to be smart. And then you come in contact with other people, you're not exhibiting that. You cannot be mad at people.
Yeah. So, like I was going on. So this Nigerian guy that came in, I think something that she said triggered him, and he started saying that no, you. I think he's in America. He kind of went to high school in America. It's like no,
Uh-huh.
it's he didn't start here. To be honest, it's like most of you are just in the corner. You're dope dealers. What. He started saying all of these things, right? And then obviously she got triggered back. And remember, none of us are just shutting up, right? And so this woman, what she did, to be honest, and she triggered me and the moderator of the channel. She says that's my problem with y'all Africans. She did this thing where she put us all in this one package when a
Of course.
Nigerian, a specific Nigerian, insulted her, and we were telling that guy to shut up, right? And I'm
Right.
like, is it this? These are the women that are raising these kids. Like it's almost like the ego is so high. And I even tried to explain it to her, like, ma'am, I'm South African, that guy's Nigerian. Why are you talking about Africans now?
Well, that's
This
because it. You have to remember, it don't matter. You are just in her head. You are African, so therefore, in her head, Africa is a country. It's one big country. So the fact of the matter is, at some point, it's like that's I see when you come here. You come in contact with most of these people, you will be disappointed because, like, they try to tell you, oh, the white people make us look bad on TV. No, 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 no. The white people, in fact, present you to be these smart, intelligent
Why South
people on
African,
TV.
white Americans are better, to be honest with
No,
you.
that's what I'm saying. White
White
Americans.
Americans compared to South African whites, and the things I've heard from other ADOS who not just whites, Boers specifically, fucking Boers. Sorry for cursing your thing. Boers. Those are the actual races. In fact, you Afro-Damis, if you sat down with one, you'd feel like you need to take out a gun and put it on. That the things they say, even other Englishmen call them out on their racistness. But that's the thing that got me in trouble, because I was like, listen, I get you guys are having problems, but trust me, white America, they kept you alive, for God's sake. These so-called racist people kept you alive, right?
Right.
Like, and it was like, I don't want to do a trauma debate here, because in my home country, the army was sent out to kill us. The army, your army was actually sent out to protect you when you're at
Right.
school. You didn't have the military, the government going out to kill you. Whatever situation you're having, like she tried to have this whole cheese way worse than whatever people in apartheid face. I'm like, not even close, man. You're not even close.
Well,
You have
I've heard some online say, "Oh, we are more. Our experience is more like South Africa." So, what you hear
not even
and what
close.
actually happened, do you think is the same?
It's they're not even close. Like, you understand people killing children, going out to kill. But regardless, main point is she ended up before she going like, let me tell you, I am grateful I'm not an African. I am so goddamn grateful. Like, she said that, and then the moderator was like, let me be honest, I was actually shutting up, but this really triggered me to a point that she thought that for some reason we are. I'm just saying, and these are people that are constantly online crying all day about what. Then they're insulting us as Africans, and we didn't say anything about them. So it's just something that made me really wonder, man. It made me really wonder. And then the last thing that happened, right? And I don't want to touch too much on what happened on my side. She insulted an older African American woman, right? When she was telling her to keep it down or something. She went on a back. Mr. Fredamis,
She did what?
she went on the back chat of an older African American woman on the thing,
Of course.
and then went and said, "You goddamn old B, where
Uh-huh.
you use
No
stuff."
respect.
But she said the most disgusting thing. I'm like,
Mhm.
hey, and these are the women African American men have to marry. Like, I feel bad for African American men if I'm seeing this woman is insulting an older grandmother like this. I don't know. I just feel bad for a lot
Yeah,
of.
I
You're
mean,
right. It's sad.
yeah, it's just that's why you look at it. It's just the way people are raised. Especially here in this country. The same thing I see it. Like even in the prison system, you would see the young, blacks. They have no respect for the old ones. Like in Africa
None,
and
none. It's sad.
most cultures, when even if you're not related to the person, if they are older than you, you show them respect. That's not what it's like with most blacks. The older you are, the more they disrespect you, especially if they are not related to you. It's not the same.
It's
Like,
disgusting, man. That thing is disgusting, to be honest. Like, I don't even see how I could even marry a girl like that.
oh no,
Like if
I
you
know, I
just,
know exactly
yeah.
what you mean. Trust me, you're not missing out on anything. She has no respect. She probably don't know how to cook. I'm almost 98%, correct. She don't know how to cook. If you marry her, you guys would be eating at McDonald's and Jack in the Box. Okay, so yeah, that's just how it is, man. It's unfortunate, but that's what is being promoted.
I wanted to ask you a question. I was listening to one of your old streams. For Davis. Then you once said like there was a light skinned girl you were, I don't know if you were dating or you were with.
Yeah,
She's like,
yeah.
I'm light skinned,
Oh yeah,
people
yeah,
treat.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, she wanted to let me know that she's light skinned, and I was like, if that matters to
So
me,
this light skin, dark skin thing is real in the US. Like
yes.
there's actually a priority on like the light skin, or is it light skin they mean mixed, right? Or is it just light skin blacks? Because yeah. Hey, you killed me when you said that.
I
I'm light
know,
skin.
I
I'm
know.
light
That's
skin. You gotta respect me. In the hood, them niggas will be respecting me.
mm-hmm. I know, right? That's just how it goes. Honestly, like I know some are gonna come and deny. They call it colorism. I didn't know that. Like they call it colorism, and you'll be surprised at the things they say, and they will pretend like people are not watching this or listening to it, but it's the reality. But they want you to play along and pretend like you're not even, this is a norm. But when you put things out there and people are like, come on, this is messed up, then they're like, oh, you're picking on us, you are hating on us. So it's ridiculous. But I'm gonna put you in the background here and bring in St. James too, okay?
All right, it's cool. Sure.
All right. St. James, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, my brother.
How you doing? Hey, you said I'm vicious. What do you mean by that, St. James?
I mean, when you're on YouTube, man, we drop the link, man. My brothers and sisters don't want to come in, man. They don't want to call. They don't want to have the conversation. What's going on with you, man?
Look, I want to have a conversation. I'm not gonna bite whatsoever. I just want to have a real conversation about what is going on. But it seems like people don't want to have real conversations. People they want to have conversations based in emotion rather than factual conversation, because people want to be busy telling us that everything is the African people's fault and white people's fault. So maybe next program I should talk about white people being the problem and Africans being the problem. Then they will call in.
Yeah, but it's been like that for quite some time. Like you said, now we have YouTube. Now we can get to see exactly what's going on in here because everybody got the mic, right?
Right.
Everybody got the mic, so everybody's talking. Everybody feels emboldened to say whatever they want, and nobody gets checks, right? Not like get checked, but like whatever that you're saying, is that even factual? Like, you get all these people talking about African immigrant, right?
Right.
If your stuff is working, right? If it's so working for you, why Africans stay away?
Because that's a problem, bro. It's like people have eyes, people have common sense. If you see something that's not gonna serve you right, it's not gonna work for you, I mean, you're not gonna waste your time with it, you see. But they want you to just pretend, and say, oh, this is correct, this is the right way to do things. And yeah.
Yeah, you see that's the problem. Like when you come from a different setting and you get to what you just explained, right? Those kids in the neighborhood, like we didn't grow up like that. We always have a father figure in the community that check us, when we, do certain things, like you said, it takes a community to raise a child. So we were brought up that way. So when you come to the United States and you see kids who don't even listen to their parents, are you even gonna like talk to these kids? But because what you're seeing is that is disrespect all over the place, So you already know these kids ain't gonna listen to you. The mom ain't gonna let you even talk to the kids. You see what I'm saying? So they love it. They love the way it is. So you can't change that. As a foreigner, like as an immigrant, like whatever they call us, like as an immigrant, as a foreigner, as a whatever, you can't come to that system and change anything. All you have to do is stay away, let them do their thing, and you do you. That's the way I see it.
Right.
That's the way I see it. Because you don't want no problems, and they don't want no problems, right?
And you've heard about this prison school to prison pipeline.
I heard of it. I heard of it.
And if you look at it, the way it's presented, doesn't it seem like made it sound like, oh, this is the white people's fault? But every receipt I have laid out here, were you surprised to hear that that's what the real events are?
I'm not surprised. Even that dude, the guy from South Africa, right? He said white people did you a lot of favor. I agree with him. Growing up in Africa, even we watch those movies, right? Those violent movies. It was like every now and then, right? You get that on DVD, and like everything was nice about Black America. Prince of
Right.
Bel-Air, Bill Cosby, nice stuff that
Right.
we were presented of about Black Americans. You know, all this movie Boys in the Hood and all this. This came later when we grew up. Like we didn't even know of it. So, but those movies didn't even change our perception about Black American. But when you get here, God damn, like I remember when I got here, I didn't even want to talk to anybody because I thought I was so dumb. Because because of all these things I was taught about America, right? I didn't want to talk to anybody because I thought everybody was smart.
I know. I know.
Right? So
Uh-huh.
right. So it took me some time to, you know, talk to people and kind of understand what the mindset was. And I was like, God damn, is this America? It's like I couldn't believe it. But you can't turn around and explain to people that we got bamboozled. You can't say that, but you know, that's the reality. But it takes time for us to talk to them like, yo, no, white people did you a favor.
Right.
We have to say it loud and clear. They did you a favor. If that was this, if we knew what if we knew what we know now, no, god damn, that would have been something different.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. It's like everything that's presented, you know, is really not factual, you see? And when they say, oh, it's white people's fault, they present us in a bad way. No, no, no. In fact, they present you in a good light, like, because people come in here really think everyone, a black person here is smart, they got it going on, you know, until you come and see for yourself, you know, and 9 out of 10 times you're like, nah, man, what they are showing and what is real are two completely different things.
Right. So from where you were at in Africa and now, so how does an immigrant like coming from that situation can put like a force himself to this kind of community and have begin a conversation? This is a problem. You can't do it because
Right.
if you try, they will call you like, oh yeah, you African, you guys don't know anything about our situation. Stay out of it. I mostly hear those kind of lines when it comes to
Right.
speaking, like stay out of it. That's none of your business. We don't care about what you think about us. You ain't from our community. That's what we get. So
Yeah, it's never, you know, an actual conversation being held, you
absolutely.
know.
And when they became they compare Africa to the United States, right? They want you to lose that battle because they can always point out anything in Africa and tell you, oh, you guys should go fix Africa instead of trying to fix anything over here. You see what I'm saying? So Africans don't want to hear from that. Like, yo, we're gonna do what we do. Even when you do what you do, right? You see on YouTube what's going on. When even Africans do what they do, they still feel like we still talk about them. We still don't.
Well, because if you look at it, all this almost 2 years, you know, probably 2 years or so, all we've been hearing, especially with this quote unquote ADOS stuff, is we the best, we're this, we're that. Africans are our problems, white people, because I used to hear, oh, white man is the problem. White man is the problem. But like I said, when I worked in the criminal justice system, most of the people I come in contact with, the criminals, they were not raised by white people. They didn't even grow up around white people. So how did white people put you in this position? But then again, now I started hearing the Africans are our problem. Like everybody is your problem except yourself. Like, how is that even possible? Like, to me, how does it feel like? I don't know what it feels like to always point the finger at other people, over situations of my own life that I can control, especially your own kids. Because you hear people say this like as if they're in a trance. Oh, it's the white people that put, our kids in prison whatsoever. But you think they're just coming, when you hear this, it sounds like, oh, they're just coming, grabbing these kids, putting them in prison as children. But yesterday, you even saw did you see the news I presented, right?
Yes, I did.
Imagine if cops show up there. Don't you think what that guy was doing was a crime?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But he's not supposed to be arrested. That's my whole point. It's like no respect for the law, no respect for society. But it's like all these things, they need to be taught at home. They need to be taught at home. If somebody, is respectful, somebody acts, as an upstanding citizen, what do they call them? If they are black, they say, oh, you're a sellout. You're
It's
Uncle Tom. Sambo. So if you are showing respect, you want to be respected, right? But you don't want to give the respect. The people that give respect, you want to call them these names. So it just goes to show, the mindset itself promotes this type of degenerate behaviors, and you don't expect the rest of society to put up with it. That's just the facts.
It's just
But
what
we
you
have
said. It's a mindset. It's a mindset. Like if like if they get through that, like you get through that by talking to one another. You can't call a community a community if you don't have leaders in that community. You can't check certain behavior. That's not going to be called a community. It's going to be
the
called
first leader is from the home. You
right
cannot
from
have
the
strangers,
right.
complete strangers,
Yes.
because you see a lot of these people want to look up to, some sports star, some singer that they see on TV, thinking that's where they should get all their life lessons from. But that's completely off. But we have Rasmois here in the house. Rasmois, welcome to the show.
Yes, sir. How you doing, my Sonenki brother? How you doing, my
I'm
Mosi brother? How you guys doing?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well.
Doing great, man. How you been?
I'm all right. Like you see, I have many problem. These people, like these people claim that they built America. They invented this. They invented that. Okay, that's fine and all of that, right? But if you claim you have done all of that, you have achieved all of that, why can't you build or invented something that can get rid of your enemy?
That's a good
They don't want to
question.
do it. All they want to do is just complain.
Yeah, well, if you look at it, like from the
Yeah.
synopsis that I've given, from how even you talk about this quote unquote school to prisons pipeline. So the examples I've given, if you have your child, right, your job is to protect your child. How can you as an individual lose your child to complete strangers, or you send your child to school, not one black child, two it's like tons and tons of them acting a certain way. I mean, at that point, don't you think you are the problem?
Oh, absolutely, they're the problem. But they don't want to hold themselves accountable. They don't
Yes,
want to ever hold themselves accountable. They always want to point the finger.
and then you look
Like I
in
feel
the
like
system, the welfare system, child welfare system. Who's the majority that work there? You have black females
mostly
working there.
women. Yep.
Black females to be specific in the inner cities. So therefore, it is not a race problem at that point. It is
Nah.
it's something completely different.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
You
it's
absolutely right, man.
so far what you've heard, the explanation I've given, the examples. Have you seen some of these things that I talk about in real life?
Oh, all the time, man. I've seen stuff like that, like in display all the time, like in front of my face. Like, I've seen it all the time, man. It's nothing new to me, but they will never talk about it. But they'll rather boast and be arrogant online and saying like they've done this, they've done that. But look at your inner city. Like look at Memphis, look at Gary, Indiana, look at Baltimore, look at Detroit. It's it's practically like a third world shithole country. Excuse my language, but you will never talk about that. But the only thing they will talk about is people people who belong in their so-called ethnic group that has nothing to do with them. They would want to take their achievement, their success, and then saying that, oh, that's them. That no that's not them. That's just an individual that has achieved what he has achieved. That's not you as a whole.
Right.
So I just hate like when they talk about that.
Well,
About
that's it's funny because again, because the beginning, the explanation that I gave, if you look at, you have all these single mothers bringing these children into the world and then trying to find quote unquote mentors or other fathers to replace the actual fathers. You see, as if fathers are like sneakers or whatever. It breeds this type of mindset that we are seeing not only out there, even here online, for a group of people to shamelessly come online talking about other people's achievement, to say, oh, as if that is their achievement. For most people, regular people,
exactly.
most regular people are like wait a minute, like you don't even know this person. Why are you talking like this, talking about us?
Do you remember when we had that conversation and they said Nigerian were some like where the higher achiever in the United States out of the immigrant groups and stuff like that?
Right.
Some people were battered. I'm like, do you think Africans coming from the continent into America, do you think they are battered by this? Do you think they go to bed thinking, oh, Nigerian, they're better, they do, like, we don't even think about that.
Right.
We don't give a damn like who is on top, who is at the bottom. We know what we can do here in America.
Right.
So those things don't faze you.
No, I mean, it's like, hey, if they write that the Nigerians are doing well, I'm happy for them, I'm just doing me.
You think African we get intimidated by Nigerians?
And I know visionary of love is saying something,
Right.
Visionary of love is laughing, but I'm telling you, what she's saying is gonna come through. He said in a few years they'll say they built up Africa. I wouldn't be surprised.
That would be great. That would be great. That would be great. Like the culture, like my culture is the best culture. We are the best group out of the like. That's great. Can we?
Because if you look at it, the other day I heard a guy saying, I don't know if he understands how crazy and dumb he sounded, but again, logic doesn't really resonate with most of these people. He said, when he said this, it blew my mind. He said it's like we were bred on a farm like animals. So he's saying it as a compliment.
Did you see the number of people that were sitting there and listening to it? Nobody pushed back.
No, I know.
So, do you see the kind of people we are talking about?
Hey, St. James, Afterdamus. I listened to that part, man, and I was so sickening because my people are descended of enslaved African, and then when we were taken to that island, we fled to the mountains, so we create my own community. This is why that most of us retains our African culture. But for a person like that, right? You were bred in the plantation, and you proud that you have European ancestry, and you proud that you have that people that enslave your people, that torture your people, that rape your
But
people.
same
You
same
proud of
European
that,
you
and
say you
then you
hate.
say exactly. And then at the same time, you are saying that that's the reason why we are the greatest black people in the world. Are you kidding me? You were bred like a guinea pigs. You were bred like a dog.
Yeah,
But yet
I was blown by.
you are saying you are the greatest of the black.
Yeah, I was blown
It's
by the
it,
logic, and I was like, okay, is somebody going to correct this man? Like, who wants to identify as that? Like, you're literally disrespecting yourself without even knowing it. So it's like he's saying Black Americans were bred like animals,
right.
that's what makes them the best. And I'm like, dude, don't say that. Like, don't say that. That's not something to be proud of.
Oh, absolutely not. It's truly stupid. Like to think about it, that you were like you were bred like cattle in a farm, in a slave farm, and then for you to be proud of that. Your ancestors went through hell. Like they had to sleep with their husband, they had to sleep with their wife, they had to sleep with their uncle, auntie, sisters, cousins, you name it. They were doing inbred. And then for you to be proud of that, something is wrong in the back of your head. For you to think of something like that, and that's the reason why Black Americans are the greatest of Black people in the world. You are truly
Well,
sick.
yeah, that was very sick. So pretty much he's, admitting, I mean, Bernard beat me to it, but he's just saying we're bred to be physically strong, but have low IQ, not to think. You see?
Exactly.
Yeah, because why would, if another human have the power, to breed other humans, but you want to control these humans, why would you want them to have high IQ? So he literally came on a
Yep.
public platform and started spewing this. And that's the thing. That's why I said the internet is a blessing and a curse at the same time. Because most people that are not in America, have never been here, do not know like people like him exist. Their vision of Black people in America is probably Fresh Prince of Bel-Air or the Cosby Show or other shows they
Right.
see, but they don't understand like in reality, people like him is the majority.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately.
And guess what? I don't even hate these people, man. I just hate their ignorance because I like a few of them. For instance, not Mizzy. I like not Mizzy. Not Mizzy always keep it a buck. Not Mizzy always want to let you know like the real history of Black American, like the stuff that they have accomplished, their success. And then at the same time, you would want to know about your history, like what have your people accomplished and stuff like that. It's a fair exchange. But you'll never hear Nakmizi saying that, Nakmizi will never be boastful and arrogant, that his people is the greatest people in the world. He will never say something like that. It's just like a few of them who are lack of who are lack of senses. They don't know what they're talking about, so they just feel a bunch of bullshit. So they just regurgitating a bunch of bullshit that they hear other people saying, and then they take it as fact. These are the people that I have a problem with. But other than that, I have no problem with them. Like they can make themselves like whatever they want to identify themselves with. It's not a problem to me. I mean, to me, I feel like they're all like white people know who is a Black American and white people know who is a Black immigrant. By your name, they can tell you either Black American or Black immigrant. By my name, they can tell me that I'm not a Black American because one, I have an accent, and two, my name is in French. So
Right.
that's not Black American at all.
Oh man,
Yeah.
NC said something here. She said, Afridamus, can you name 3 things that Black American did or doing that is great example for the rest of our blacks in the world?
Can
Yeah,
I answer
there.
that?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Can you invite her to come and tell us? Because we are a student here. We want to learn.
Oh, I think NC is in Europe.
Well,
I think she wants to learn. I mean, I would say sports, sports, entertainment. Yeah, I would say rapping, basketball, like, yeah. And athletic, they have, most blacks here in America have great athletic skills. Would you guys agree with me on that?
I kind of disagree because when you talk about sport, who invented basketball? Basketball was invented by a white man, not a, not a Black American man.
No. She's saying she didn't say discovery like, she wants to know what did they invent? The invention.
Exactly. Basketball was invented by a white man, James A. Naismith. That was his name. He was a white Canadian. So that's not Black American.
I think rap music. Rap music was invented by blacks.
Oh, okay, but don't you think that people in Africa used to fast talk like
Right.
whenever like they're doing the drumming and stuff like that?
Okay,
I don't think so.
NC said not good. Okay, she's speaking of the positive things that blacks invented. That's a good question.
Well, they do say that Benjamin Banneker invented the almanac, and that George Morgan, something like that, invented like the traffic light.
No, but
So
that's a myth. That's not real.
you're giving them no hope, man.
No, because the traffic light was already, in existence from England prior to that. It was already in existence. So I'll have to pull up the black invention list. They have this the black invention. I mean, I think they built the pyramids in Egypt.
Come on, Afridamus, you're trolling now. You know these people were not Black American; they were Egyptian. Come on, brother.
I mean, I don't know. I'll have to pull up the list. There is a list. There's a list that that shows it. Like I don't know as a group, but there are some individuals that, I mean, this is a tough one because it's called blackinventionmyth.com. So a lot of these things, a lot of the things that they say on the internet that they invented, there's no proof that they did. Like there's no proof to it. So see, people are trolling in the chat. African Parasite said the great pharaohs of Kemet. I mean, maybe let me bring in Sean. Sean might know some stuff. Sean, you want to answer that question?
Well, I can't really say too much about invention, but I can say that Black Americans have definitely contributed to like modern day American culture. It's even like in the slang that we use in like rock and roll and like music and all that. And we kind of created our own like thing in like the film industry. Um, but like as far as like everything else goes, I mean, you could like justify and say, well, white people have done that too, and that's very much true. So,
Well, because some of the famous things that people say is the traffic light saying it was a black person that invented it. That's actually not true, because the time that black person was alive, prior to that, there was the traffic light already in England. That's the first place where they had it at. Can you hear me? Sean, are you there? Oh, I guess Sean, I can't hear you. Sean, are you there? Maybe let me bring in Dr. R. Maybe he have learned something there that he might know. Dr. R, can you think of any inventions?
The doll, the experiment,
Huh?
the doll,
The what?
some Black American invented a doll. I
The
can't remember
toll,
what
like
it is.
the toll, like on the bridge.
No. Let me go check.
Oh, someone said, Nico said, Afridamus, you need to go watch Young Pharaoh. He'll teach you about how they built the pyramids using melanin. Oh boy, that young Pharaoh guy, he's all over the place. I can take him serious. FBA and ADOS clowns just want
Yes.
division.
The Super Soaker gun is a water toy gun.
Oh yeah. Oh
That's invented by a Black American.
yeah. The super soaker. Yeah. You're right. I remember that. But she's asking invention that is beneficial to other blacks around the world. I mean, I mentioned the pyramids, but it looks like the chat is not accepting it. So that would have been one of the biggest inventions, built. But since the chat,
Well,
who's who
my bad. That was my son. Well, I do want to say that they said they invented like the gas mask.
the what? What was the reason?
The gas mask, like they said they invented that because like during World War One, like like
Dude,
they were
would
in it. Yeah, go ahead.
the Germans, the Europeans were already using those things. Like I don't pay attention to some of these things because I've already read about them.
The ironing board.
Yeah,
The
that's
traffic
what
light
they said.
systems.
Like they said, they invented the gas mask
Yeah,
because they
but
were using it like World War One.
yeah, but World War One they were not the reason for it. It obviously the people that invented the gas mask, they did that because they know they have gas. They're going to gas other people, so they have to protect themselves. What would be the reason for blacks in America to invent that? They don't even know what type of weapons were being used there.
What about the refrigerated truck?
Refrigerated truck? I never
Yeah,
heard about. I believe that was by white people, but I could be wrong.
I just checked it. It was by Black American.
What's his name?
Frederick Jones.
Is it Google showing that?
Yeah, Frederick Jones.
Yeah. Man, now you guys got me going into the black invention myth here. Okay, there's a whole list. There's a whole list of these things. Okay, the ironing board, traffic light. Let me just give you all the things everyone is saying here. It's, I'm just gonna narrow it down. The Let me tell you all the inventions that everyone have said here: the ironing board, the traffic light, gas mask, peanut butter, George Washington carver, automatic lubricator, blood bank, blood plasma, Washington D.C. city plan, filament for light bulb, heart surgery, third rail, railway telegraph, refrigerated truck, air brake, air conditioner, airship, automatic rail car, automatic transmission, bicycle frame, cellular phone, clock or watch, clothes dryer, dustpan, egg beater, electric trolley, elevator, fastest computer, fire escape, fire extinguisher. Okay, literally, I'm just going down the list of all the things that blacks claimed they invented. Golf tee, hairbrush, halogen lamp, hand soap, heating furnace, horseshoe, ice cream, ironing board. Okay, guys, lawnmower. It's all been debunked. They said none of it is true. So you can go check it for yourself. It's called Black Invention Myths. So all these are myths. So Dr. R, it wasn't invented by a black person. So it's not.
Afridamus, my brother, don't blame me. Blame
Oh no,
Google.
I know it's not your fault. Well, you're not
Because
the only one.
because I asked Google for these inventions and it just pops up like
Yeah,
a toast when you put it in the toaster and it pops.
yeah. Well, see, the thing is, you got to look at the inventions. Like, what is the need for them? There's literally a bunch of stuff: turn light signals, typewriter, toilet for railroad cars, tricycle. I mean, shoot, if blacks invented all these things, we wouldn't have any questions. But this is showing, they said this has all been debunked. Sorry, guys. I mean, I know NC, you wanted to see something, but they said all this is a myth. You guys can check it out yourself. But ladies and gentlemen, the show has been great. We are over the 2-hour mark. I'm glad, man, you guys came in. Your input is very, very vital to the show. I would have expected more people to hit that link and come and talk about this instead of waiting later and coming to comment in my comment section saying, I'm the problem. Oh, hold on. I'm gonna bring in Rash Morris. I'll put you in the background for a sec. Let me bring Red Pill here. Red Pill. Oh, here you go.
Yeah. I wanted to play before you go, man. I want to play you a small video. I was actually thought you were about to go. That's why.
Oh,
I want to play the video I was talking about that with that Boer fighting with that Englishman.
Oh.
It's not a video, a sound clip.
Oh, okay.
You want to hear it?
Yeah.
Can you hear?
Yeah.
You fuck off, it's before 9 o'clock in the fucking morning. You're on the fucking fuck off. Fucking provocateur. You move me. Why are you so provoking people? I'm not provoking. You fucking everybody standing here with your fucking white skin, fucking being a white fucking South African, your fucking East European fucking cronies. Where's the fucking job for the English fucking boys? Fucking racist. Come in here, undercutting all our fucking workforce. Fuck off back to South Africa, you fucking cheapskate. You're gonna get yourself.
Is that
Did you hear that?
yeah? Is
That's
that
English. That's in England. So this Boer guy, I was watching this video. This Boer guy goes to this Englishman, and this guy has the nerve in an Englishman country to tell him what to do in an Englishman country. He says, "Listen to me," and you could listen there. It's talking about and what if I don't? I. This Englishman is telling him, "You're not even supposed to be here, and you're coming here with this high level of ego."
So
Like
do you
you
guys?
understand? These are the people that you know what I mean. These are the white South Africans I'm talking about. Other white people don't even like them.
So they still have
This is
that.
the Boers, specifically
The
the Boers.
Boers, they still think that way.
Man, came out last year, and he's
Oh
doing this
wow.
to this is in England.
Do you
He's doing
speak?
this in
Do you
England.
speak their language?
No, I won't even try.
Why not?
For what? Why would I let? Do they know my language?
Well, so you know what they're talking
They don't.
about.
Man,
No
bruh, these
disrespect,
people.
but Dutch is an ugly language since it's similar to Boer.
Yeah,
I'd
well,
rather learn Dutch before I learn Boer.
yeah, but
Isn't
you want to know what they are saying, don't you?
It's not. I mean, I do know some words, like obviously the K word. Man, bruh. At the end of the day, man, remember in 1976, right? These people sent soldiers to kill children because they want to learn in English. You know what I mean? Like these are the type of people we're talking about, not because they're fighting for freedom, because they didn't want to learn a worthless language, and we got
Oh
killed
wow.
for it. You got killed for it. It is a worthless language. What are you gonna do with Afrikaans? But it's a worthless language, and the world saw it itself.
Do they get along with the English South Africans?
I think they pretend for each other a lot, but I don't think so. I don't know. But they don't publicize it. But I have seen some tension between the two. To be honest, I have seen. I actually went to a school that was. I went to a like half black, half poor school. Like half of the students were black, half of the So I kind of saw what like maybe my English teacher and how she was like treated compared to the other English ones.
Oh, okay. Let's see. NC. Yeah. Most definitely, your topics are welcome. You can write to me. Write them to my email or
What
on
does
my.
Audrey Kame mean? He says,
Oh,
boys, South Africans are like ADOS. How am I like an ADOS?
hold on one second.
That's not an insult.
Hold on, I want to give NC where she can send this list to me. Or on my Instagram. Or my email address. Here's my Instagram right there. Here's my Instagram. You can send it there or on my email. That's my email right here. You can send it to that.
Yes, I've got a question for the brother SA Red Pill.
Yeah, go for it.
Yes.
Is it actually true that in South Africa you got a serious problem with single mothers?
I wouldn't say it's a problem, to be honest. Like, I wouldn't say it's like to compare it to ADOS, I wouldn't say it's that much of a problem. Like South African problems, they are single mothers, but it's not a. Look, the thing is, I feel like personally that our problems, like our real problems, that we don't punish. Like black people do this, like we don't punish, especially westernized black people. right? Not just Africans, but westernized blacks. We don't punish criminals. This is why people you will have a guy who rapes a 4-year-old and kills grandmothers, but the ANC will say he still deserves to live. Like the people that will do the most horrific things, and this thing with accountability and saying that it's him, but they'll say, no, it's systemic racism, colonial mindset.
So it's like America.
Yeah, but not to the extreme, but probably a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. Well, America, you get punished.
Okay, but America is a little bit better because at least, and I'm gonna say this, they live majority with white people. And white people are not loyal to parties as much as black people are.
Right.
So they move from one party to another, whereas we are, where we pedestalize words over performance. So, like I said, you will have in our country, but a lot of people like to compare South Africa with apartheid and its performance, but they never compare it with Thabo Mbeki's tenure, which was the best. It outperformed apartheid. It was growing the largest, like 5% every year in GDP, like since, let's say, 2001 to 2000 to 2008, right?
Yeah.
But I'm gonna close it now. South
So
Africans,
did they have child support system now?
Yeah, obviously, but they don't call it that. But all I'm saying is they would recall that president who performed very well and put in one who can't even read. We all know Jacob Zuma. The world laughs at us at this. Our president doesn't even know how to read. How do you become president?
He doesn't know how to wait.
He can't read like number. Okay, he can read a little bit, but can't read numbers. Look up Jacob Zuma reading numbers. You see 5,000 and 8,000 and this was so embarrassing.
Jacob Zuma, that's the corrupt one, right?
Yeah. But black people removed the non-corrupt one to put him on because they thought, like, Jacob Zuma was good. You know, us with words. He was making himself feel like a victim because he put corruption charge. Thabo Mbeki put corruption charges on Jacob Zuma. Jacob Zuma acted like a victim, and then black people fell for it for some reason and said, "You, who is the economics graduate, get out. Let's put a guy who dropped out in grade 3." This is black people for you.
Wait, yes, he only went to the 3rd grade.
Before this guy was president, he said he took a shower before he had sex with someone with HIV. No, after he had sex with someone with HIV, he took a shower to wash it off before he was president. Black people put someone in presidency who said he washed off the HIV. These are the people I'm telling you, bro.
Damn,
I'm like,
shit.
You know what I mean?
I have to say, blacks here in America, are crazy, but they ain't that crazy. That I have to say.
You guys don't even know this, right?
Black people are crazy in America, but they ain't that crazy.
You guys are gonna look this up, man, and you're gonna find out everything I'm saying is true. Like, look up Jacob Zuma HIV, Jacob Zuma reading numbers. Just look these things up. These things is gonna be said. You're like, this guy was actually president. He only had a grade 3. I swear, only a grade 3.
Wow. Now I have to look this up. Amazing.
Man, wow. I'm actually sad that I told you, brother, because the world doesn't really know this. But
how did he win?
True. Emotions. Obviously, there's certain things like
victimhood.
Victimhood is the whites. The problem you have is the whites. But why are you telling black people to vote for a party that's still going to be dominated by white? You see, and this is the thing when you ask older black people, I'm like, okay, fine. If white people are the problem and this so-called party is telling you they're the problem, but yet they're not fixing it, why don't you change and vote for another black?
Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. Like, they're so loyal.
It looks like Jacob Zuma didn't want you to say that part. He had to shut your internet off.
He's in jail, man. How can he do right now?
Oh, he's in jail, right? So they put him. I know, like, they were
6 months. Probably gonna be 6 months. Hey, bro, this is South Africa, man. He probably won't last long there. They just did it for this because the charges he had were like he has about 600 charges before. He had about 200 charges before he was president, after he had like about 400 or something corruption charges.
Wow.
You know,
I
he
read
even raped.
where
There was a girl who was talking about how she got raped by him, but
he's a
then
rapist also.
yeah, but then majority of the ANC voters are black women.
Oh, jeez. Wow. So those black women over there are messed up too, huh?
They are Shem. Sometimes when I
Uh,
see those things, I see like similarities, man, and it's sad.
is it
Amazing.
true that South African women are loose?
What do you mean? In what terms, loose?
Like
Just
they're very
floods.
liberal. They're very liberal on sex.
Yeah,
Well,
is it?
he just told you
Oh,
there's
my
a lot of
accent.
single mamas.
Yeah, like I feel like we already that will probably
Yeah,
be
he's already answered that. Single mamas don't exist without that. So, but
I
that
see
brings
single
us
mothers in Ethiopia for a reason. A lot. There's a
yeah.
reason for that.
Well, that brings us to today's show because I think Mr. R is thinking about buying a ticket to South Africa, but that's not here or there. Thank you,
No,
guys.
no, 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 no.
What do you
Well,
think about? Sorry, DR. You're in the UK. What do you think about that Englishman? Or at least did you have that clip I was playing? That Englishman talking to that boar.
I just find it funny, really funny.
Yeah, like I find, you know what I actually find funny is what is a boer doing in England after, like the British had like concentration camps for boers and killed their children,
Oh
right? Like
yes,
they
yes.
actually did that. Yeah, it's weird. Like he actually goes to that country and they actually
I'm
making
thinking,
demands.
why do you not go to the Netherlands? That's where they come from.
They don't want them there. Nobody wants these people, bruh. Nobody wants, not Australians, not nobody. They saying all these racist things to us, like white people are gonna accept them if they say something racist to black. Like sad, but it's really sad, dog. Like
well, that brings us towards the end of the show, guys. But you know,
I
call
killed you
back
with the
tomorrow.
Jacob Zuma thing, né?
Yeah, I'm gonna check it. Oh, here we go. We say, uh, Louis Luck. Oh, he's mad. He said a guy who fled his shithole country passing judgment. Sir, it's not passing judgment. It's about speaking facts. But
Wait until you're a senator, then let's see what he'll say.
exactly. You remember when I told him that? He doesn't. He keep complaining. Wait till I become a senator. You can write your letter to me, guy. Thank you. Thanks for reminding him about that. I'm still gonna run anyways. All right.
Good luck to you, man.
Hey, thanks. I appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, I know the show is great, but whatever is good must come to an end. So that brings us to the end of today's show. So yeah, don't fall for that victimhood talk, talking about, oh, it's the white man that put this black man in jail. Go read their history. Their own mamas set them up for that. Because, it's not grown men being sent to these schools. They are little children that are being sent to the school first. So they grow up in a system that is messed up. So obviously the results is what we are seeing today. And then those same people turn around and try to pretend like they are helping, but they are not. Louis, Louis Lucky. Well, you're lucky you came at the end. I hope you catch the beginning. He said, "Go be a senator in Gambia." Well, I'd rather be a senator in America since I'm an American citizen. All these things I'm talking about, I want to, help change it. So, Louis, make sure you learn how to write letters and send them to me and let me know, what type of issues you would like me to tackle. But sorry, buddy, unfortunately, you cannot stop this process. It's going to happen. Even if I have to become a senator in Wyoming, it's going to happen. Okay? So good luck to you, my friend. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll leave you till tomorrow or until we meet again. Enjoy.